February 2024. You're most welcome to the now. This is the Kokoliriko live show that comes your ways every Mondays to Fridays with me, Farish Majid. And I must say, it's a very bright morning with no signs of rain. But really, I don't know how it is in the other parts of the world. But from wherever you are watching us from, I want to say you are most welcome to the Kokoliriko live show that happens only on West Nile Television every Mondays to Fridays with me, Farish Majid. And yesterday, I must say, so many things happened here and there where we witnessed mixed reactions among the senior four learners and the teachers. These are the ones that really sat the last cohort of the old curriculum, and we didn't receive their results yesterday. And in most of the schools that we visited, we witnessed a lot of scenarios. And we also got sad news yesterday. This is in relation to closure of one of the bus companies that has been serving the people of this region. And I don't know what that means to the transport sector. We will be discussing that and more with my colleague, Senior Peace Ochaki. He is already with us. But before we start into the discussion, really, if I can be able to introduce him on board, to also really introduce himself and also maybe how prepared he is, because we are already into Friday, and that means the weekend is just around the corner, and we are heading into the weekend. And I must say, Fridays are usually, some people say Furahi Day, because usually they say that is a day for celebrating. And today, I must say, it is a day that will be able to usher us into the weekend. And it's also a big day. This is the Janan Luum Day. And really, I don't know how this day means to him and him being a Christian. But really, before wasting any time, if I can be able to introduce him on board to also introduce himself to you, the viewer, that would be so good. You're most welcome, Senior Peace Ochaki.
Thank you very much, Farish Majid, and all the viewer of Kokoliriko. I must say a happy weekend to each and everyone. Meanwhile, for the Christians, some of us may even forget about the weekend because we have started up the Lent season, which was on Wednesday, with that is putting of the ash on the forehead. And we all know Fridays are always meant not to be celebrated too much, because now during these 40 days of the Lent, the Christians have been banned, that is from partying and eating some of the good foods and probably enjoying ourselves. But all in all, it is a happy weekend, and as I've stated clearly, today is the Saint Janan Luum Day, and the celebration is happening that side of Gweng, that is in Kitigum district and Kitigum diocese. It's a lovely one there. But all in all, happy weekend.
By the way, before I get to ask you about the Saint Janan Luum Day, how has been your week? Really, what story made it for you in the due course of the week, if I may be able to ask?
It has been a very long week with a lot of interesting things, both positives and negatives. On the positive side, as I started, the Christians started also their Lent season, which is of a good one for the faithfuls. And even if you're not the faithful, at least it's a good one. And it also gave opportunities for others to get to repent. It's a season of love. And also, that is, we saw just yesterday the results of the O-level last. I'm talking about senior fours. It was released. These are good things which happened in the due course of the week. But negatively, as I've highlighted, we saw that is the tragic incident whereby also one of the bus got caught, or it caught fire somewhere on its way to Kampala. It was so sad. These are some of the few highlights, and so much more we're going to be discussing in the due course of the show when the right time comes.
Now, yesterday we did see mixed reactions among the learners. By the way, in most of the schools that we did visit, we realized that this last cohort actually performed slightly better compared to their previous predecessors. These were the candidates who sat in 2022. And I must say, these ones that really sat in 2023, from the look of things, they performed slightly better than their counterparts who did sit their examinations in the previous year. So in the results that we really got to see, St. Joseph's College had about 70 first graders and really 25 in Division 2. They had one candidate in Division 3, and they had also one candidate in Division 4. And this is out of the 97 candidates that really did perform in these exams. And really, I must say, for 97 candidates, for 70 people to really come out and get that is first grades. And that means, I must say, this is a good performance. I don't know what you make of this performance, because really, if you have to look at these results now, that is for St. John's College Ombachi. Another results we also did see, that is Aro Public Secondary School getting 31 in Division 1. They had 88 in Division 2. They had 97 in Division 3, and they had 130 students, that is in Division 4. And Division 7, they had none. And Division 12, Division 9, they had 12 candidates. This is out of the 361 registered candidates. And now moving to other schools for out of Arua within at Angal SS, they were 28 students in Division 1. They had 58 in Division 2. They had 33 candidates in Division 3 and 30 candidates in Division 4. Meanwhile, in Komboni, there were 29 candidates in Division 1, 22 in Division 2, and this is out of the 51 registered candidates. Meanwhile, moving away from that to Oringi SS, there was 1 candidate in Division 1, and then they had 8 in Division 2. Meanwhile, they had 19 in Division 3, and Division 4 had 37 candidates, and Division 9, they registered 1 out of the 69 registered candidates. And those were the few results. And then not forgetting Vara SS also. Vara SS did register about 30 candidates out of the 200 registered candidates. I don't know what to make of that, and really how the candidates, or how the schools performed. But according to information we got from UNEB, there was some slight bit of improvement in some subjects here and there. For instance, subjects that people really used to fear, we did see maybe also people improving. And then the cases of examination malpractice were also very, very minimal. And for those whose results were withheld over such, there is also a provision for them to come on board and defend these results. And now also we are seeing that those who failed will have a chance maybe to have a special sitting, because this is the last cohort, and we do not really expect people to really also come and resit, because resitting is going to be very, very difficult, because the first batch of the new curriculum is now in senior 4, and their examination is totally different. I don't know what to make of this.
It was a good one. Maybe some of us used to think maybe science are the most hardest subjects of all, but if you look at the recently released, that is UCE, it's not only that is sciences which were performed worse, or it was not among the worst performed. It was only physics among the science which also appeared among the worst. But those days, even people say arts, those are just free agents. They just give you free marks and free grades. But we are seeing trends are changing. I don't know why. Is it because the world is going that is scientific, and people are trying not to mind much about the art subjects? And those are some of the things that did happen. And probably, as I've highlighted, we have seen some improvements, that is in the West Nile region, as far as the results are concerned. If you can get more than half.
In some of the schools that we did move to, I must say we witnessed a lot of anxiety. We did see people jubilating at St. Joyce College Ombachi. It was really very, very massive. The boys had to really run from that is Ombachi to the town, and the bus had to follow them, and really this was something that was really very, very nice. And moving away from Ombachi, even if you move to Ediofe, we also did see St. Mary's Ediofe girls doing the same thing, and they really moved from, that is Ediofe, the Vatican City, as we usually say. They moved from there to really to the city center, where they were jubilating, dancing, and these were nice experiences. And this is something that to me also needs to motivate the current learners, those who are currently going to sit for examinations under the new curriculum. It really needs to also be as a picture to them that they can still do something that their previous predecessors did, and they can actually do better. Because if you look at these results, you realize that these candidates of 2023 performed better than those of 2022, and this means that the candidates were a bit more focused, and the number of people by the who failed is less, and really we are also seeing the numbers of people who performed slightly better. And that, to me, I think shows that our performances in UCE was a little bit slightly better than what we did witness in PLE. And on Monday, really, we look forward to having these officials, that is from the education department, to also really come and explain to us and more about these results, because really the PLE results didn't really please most of us. But now we are seeing actually most of our schools raising the flag very much high, and this is in relation to the UCE, and really that should be an indication that really people can still do much. And that should also really tell you that education can still be done from this region. We are having a tendency, over time, our parents, our schools have been complaining, more so these UPE schools, that these perform very well. If you ask them, why is it that the schools are not performing today? One reason, trust me, they will always tell you, is that most of the parents now prefer taking away their children out to study away from this region. But now we are seeing our traditional schools, for instance, they really uh, reviving the past glory in terms of passing, because this is a school that really used to be the creme de la creme, where we used to see children really coming from the other parts of the country to really come and study this side. But over time, we have also been seeing them not performing very well, and over time, we have seen them struggling. But I think now, the struggle they have been putting over these years is now about to yield the fruits, because if out of 97, 70 candidates can pass in Division 1, and this is from the 60, about 60 that was witnessed last year, then that is an improvement, and this should tell us that everything is still possible. And that is one reason I want to call upon people of this region to really start embracing the schools that we have in this region. We have so many schools, really, if you have to mention. We have traditional schools, St. Aloysius Nyapea. These were the schools that really, while growing up as young people, as young children, we really heard of. St. Sas Luanga, Mvareses, these were the schools that we really heard of. But now you realize that most of these schools really have not been performing very well. Not only even in Arua here, we have schools in Koboko, Metu, and Moyo, Metu SS. These were the traditional schools that we heard of. Really, if there's now need for these schools to revive their academic glory, and then definitely cases of parents really trying to move away their learners to the central region or the eastern region for better education, will be able to be limited. Because these traditional schools, really, if you really interact with them, this is quite common with the primary level. They will tell you that most of the parents prefer taking their learners, their children away from this region, because they feel the learners can best pass in those schools. I don't know what you think about that, and really also what you can make of it. How best can we revive and make the West Nile region schools be on top, and also compete with the rest of the schools at the country level? Because at one time, I remember, I must tell you, we are the top schools that we had the top schools that we are competing. That is why we had prominent people bringing their children all the way from the other parts of the country to also really come and study here. How can we make sure that this thing that we had, this pride that we had in education, can be revived? Because really, if you talk about northern Uganda, most cases people really take you as an academician. But then when you come to the region, you find the opposite. That is quite awkward. How can we revive that past glory?
Thank you, Farish Majid. I will blame ourselves. That is the people of northern Uganda, not only northern Uganda, but specifically let me talk about West Nile Sub-region. We have seen those good schools, and we always say it, when you look at the teachers who are trying to teach the other side, I'm talking about the central region, who are performing very well. They are mostly from these sides of ours. And if you look, even some of the best performing learners, first go through, you peruse through the best performing learners for 2023 UCE. You find their names which are from this region. What is that special things they are trying to put together, or they are trying to make sure it's not being done, or it is being done the other side? So the only thing I will say, let's learn again how to motivate our teachers. Let's learn how to motivate, that is, the learners themselves. We have seen that is the revival of so many of the OBs and the OGs. So, for example, if you look at the Ombashi, which is best performing, they have revived their OBs. That is, they are on their way coming. They always go and give motivational talks to some of these learners. The same thing with the Nyapaya. I heard you talking about Nyapaya. They've also decided to bring back some of the things, some of the activities which used to make them some of the powerhouses those days back. And they have revived, that is, a band which used to attract many learners to the school. And those are kind of the things we are supposed to get through if we are to perform well as far as UCE is concerned. And probably performing very well in the names of Ombashi. Most people used to think when you are an Ombashan, automatically there is some behavior inside you. But right now, if they are trying to showcase us,
by the way, these people attribute this kind of performance to the discipline that the students exhibited, because they said, while I was interacting with the deputy head teacher yesterday, she was actually elaborately telling me that this performance does not really come out of the blue. It means that there were concerted efforts by several stakeholders, where the teachers performed their duties, where the OBs did their duties, where the students themselves had to work very, very hard to achieve that. And really, they said actually that the discipline that was witnessed last year's students was quite enormous, and that is what contributed to this academic performance, because the learners did not waste a lot of time due to strikes. There were also no chaotic scenes that were witnessed, so the meaning that the learners had to compete amongst themselves for performance. And that is the best way to go, I think, if we are to compete. let the competition remain. This is good. By the way, this is good competition. I believe it is good competition. But if you can briefly, really, before we head into break, if the producer can really show us some of the videos and some of the moments that we did witness at the schools, that would be quite good. Maybe one or two videos to show us how the moments were. That would be quite good. Mr. Producer, please, if you can really relay for us some of the videos, one at least or two, to show us maybe how the other learners were able to receive the results of their colleagues who have already gone out.
I'm called Angundaru Emma. I am the Deputy Head Teacher in charge of academics at St. Joseph's College, Ombachi. Our best student in UCE 2023 got aggregate 10, and he is called Kenyi Joel. And we have two other students who have aggregate 11, then one student aggregate 13, and one student aggregate 14. In total, we have 70 students in Division 1 out of 97, then 25 in Division 2. We have one student in Division 3 and one in Division 4. As a school, we are excited about the results because we have moved from 44 in Division 1 in 2022 to 70 in Division 1. That is about 72% pass rate. We are grateful to God for this result, and we pray we can work harder to.
All right, those are the moments, and I must say it is quite exciting for you to really pass, and for those who fail, it becomes very awkward. Please, I don't know how the moments were for you when you were about to receive your results. How were you receiving the results? How was the pressure like? Because for me, I didn't check in my entire levels, I didn't check my results. People had to check for me because I used to escape, and they had to tell me, now you come, you have done this. How was the experience like? Because receiving results is something, I must say, is quite difficult for someone to really take. How does it feel? Maybe how was the pressure like in your own experience?
I think you're one of the personnel who always don't perform very well. I don't know whether you used to be a good performer or you were.
Of course, I was among the top performers.
And most of the top performers, they don't feel like that is checking their results. I remember myself, when I completed that is A level, they bought for me airtime to check that is for the results. But I found myself using it or misusing it. When they asked me, did you check your result? I told them no. But inside me, I was like, will I really pass? Then I started receiving calls from my friends. They were saying, maybe for us to have performed very well. And did you check yours? I'll just tell them no. But good enough. You know, some of us, whereby our parents always, they are too much into education or all the performances of their learners. He has to just to give me what I got, and that's how I received my results. But me myself, I didn't check. So it's a good one, and the more you see your friends performing well or bad, the more it gives you morale. The moment your friends tells you, you know what, me, I've performed very well, you get scared. But at least if someone says, maybe I failed, you'll be like, aha, if I check my result, I know I can get a better grade than this one. But now seeing the learners also jubilating, running throughout the town, running throughout the city, it also motivates these other ones. And it's not only those who completed their UCE.
I was actually
level. In fact, it is these current ones who jubilated more, and that gives them also morale that maybe next time, if I performed well, I will also jubilate. But also one thing, the schools, let them not be stopping by that. If maybe someone performed very well in senior 4 or O level, at least maybe before these other current sets of learners go to sit for the exams, you call the person to give how he or she managed to perform very well. That will be a good one. It will be a good example for the current learners.
Okay, I don't know what that means to this current generation, this current senior force, what risk it poses to them, and maybe because they're going to be sitting examination under a new set of kind of format. They will not be like these previous ones. I don't know what this poses to them and really how this is going to drastically also impact on them, because we understand that there's going to be a special sheeting For those who did not really pass very well, and for those who actually missed the examinations, there's a chance for them to resit. And this is a special sitting UNEB is organizing. The date is yet to be confirmed, where these learners will have to converge in centers for them to really go on with this examination. Because for those who missed, this is giving them actually a second chance, and for those who did not pass very well and they fail, they need to resit for these exams. This is also a special sitting chance that is going to be there for them. I don't know what you make of that, because this is the last code. After that, we shall not be able to have any other type of examination like how it used to be. This is the last set, by the way. If you have failed, maybe you go and resit, and if you after failing, maybe the resitting, that will be the end of you. But of the information that we got, most of the learners actually who sat in the last code have performed at least better, meaning they can be able to progress to the next level of education. I don't know, but maybe as we summarize that discussion with what you really make of that.
It's a good one. Also, the challenges these learners went through when the new curriculum was introduced. Most of them even at first lost morale, and they felt like running away from schools. But that rumor started long time ago that if you don't perform well, you're just going to recite the paper which you failed, and that also gave motivation to the learners. And I love that is the new creativity they have come through, because they all know this is the last time for them to probably do something for themselves, and it's a good one. Maybe reciting for all those will again pose a challenge for them. Now, if someone is to sit for maybe 1 or 2 papers, it will give that person ample time to go through the paper he or she failed. And out of the results released, I'm happy because now the level of performances countrywide has improved, and probably also the number of students increased by around 16,000. That's a good one, meaning also level of education is improving.
And absentees numbers also reduced, and that is the beauty of this last cohort, where we did witness most of the learners actually turning up for these examinations. And for those that missed for different reasons, we are now expecting you to also be part of the forthcoming special sitting examination that will be organized for you by UNEB. And that is how we summarize the discussion in relation to UCE results. And for those who have passed, I want to say congratulations to you for working that very hard. And for those who have also not made it, I must say it is a sad one, but you can still maybe try out to resit in this special examination. You never know, this could be your second chance, and you should not really give up, because when it comes to giving up, that is definitely not good, because if you give up, then definitely you may pull out of education. But I must say, in the forthcoming examinations, the special sitting that UNEB is looking forward to organizing for you, you need to start preparing now. Really, if you have accessed your result and not passed very well, you need that. For those who have not yet checked your results, please make sure you do so. And this is the parents who do not complete fees of your learners. Actually, this is the very time I must encourage you to pay your children's fees and access your result, because you never know, your child could be among those that did not really make it, and the special sitting examination that may be organized very soon could actually be, that one could be their savior. And really with that, we summarize the discussion in relation to UCE. And yesterday we did receive a shocking news, and that is about the closure of KKT bus companies. But maybe, please, if before you get to have any other question, what memories will you have in relation to this bus company? Me, the memory I have is the first time I was returning back from Kampala to Arua. This was actually the bus that I used. What memory do you have with it?
Thank you very much. You know, when talking about KKT, even me, my first time to climb, let me use the raid language, the first time to climb a bus was KKT, and we have a lot of good memories about them, and closing them will not make a good sense for us. And probably, as I told you, my first time I boarded KKT was with my uncle, who used to be a big fan of KKT. Those days, it used to be a good bus, and probably now we are also seeing the challenges which are coming through. We have very few buses within the region, and now closing up one of it means we are going to have limited, that is, access to buses, and I'm scared probably we're going to see that is a rise in the prices of the buses or the fares. We still want more, that is, more bus companies to come through, though there are new ones coming. But now, an established bus in such a caliber, it will pose a very big threat to the people. We are seeing even the populations are increasing every day. Business people who are the children, I mean the learners, they all need these buses. And a simple example, during festive season, we always say that is the prices hitting high to the maximum, and it all shows that we still don't have enough of the buses within this region. And Right now, we don't know exactly the reason as to why it was closed, but with time, we're going to get into these details of this, and it will not be a good one, though closing it. Anyway, we wait and see, but we pray that things will be sorted out and they get back into onto the roads, because we have just of recent they were introducing that is new buses on the roads with the new number plate.
We are seeing emergency of new buses, but one thing I must say is that is happening about the close of this bus company. We are going to see so many people rendered jobless for those who have been drivers, for the conductors, also for those booking clerks, because you know most of our boys, by the way, who are in Kampala, have been surviving. If you move to Ropak, these boys have actually been surviving on these buses, and really if these buses continue to close, and then definitely there's going to be unemployment, and these boys will have to return back to Arua, where things may not be quite good for them. But I must say this was actually one of the bus companies that had remained at Ropak, where they have been operating, because the other buses that are from this region had actually moved to other places. If you look at the other bus companies, they had moved to Namaiba, then there was one that moved to Old Kampala, and this bus, it was actually, I think there are now two bus companies that were remaining at Ropak, and this had actually caused a lot of problems for these boys, because it separated them. And for those who had been surviving entirely on the street, these are the street hustlers, really things have not been easy for them. But I must say, the close of this bus company is going to really render so many people jobless, and now government is also going to lose money in terms of taxes, because these buses have been paying taxes. And then a lot of its negative repercussions. To me, I believe the negative repercussions have really been so much drastic. But I believe this could have been resulted from the maybe losses they were making. Because if you move the buses terminal, you realize that most of a number of buses have been grounded there. Even if you move there right now, you find that the parking yard, they have so many buses that have been grounded due to mechanical challenges, and I believe that could maybe have in one way or the other resulted.
But me, my major worry and my major scare is because KKT, it has been one bus which has been serving people, and they had number of buses going through the routes. You find there's the other one going to Paida, there's this one coming to Arua, there's the other one going to Koboko, and still we have been seeing the buses are not all that enough, but also have raised a good concern as far as that is employment of the youths are concerned. Most of those boys that are from this region, you reach out and them, you talk Ilubara, you talk these other Alus, you talk to Madi, to Kwakwa, they were all our boys. Now the question is, where else are those boys going? Are they going to tap into other opportunities? And it will also take them a lot of time to get settled down. We are seeing even in the country, getting opportunities, getting something to do is very hard. Now, does it mean they have to shift back and come back to this area? Automatically, the answer is a no. They have to look for other means of survival, of which it won't be all that easy. They have been using that one to survive. Not only those guys of Kampala, even here within the region themselves, a lot of people have been employed, and if they're all jobless, what next for them? What can be done? But all in all, it was due to some reasons of which we would say it is an unavoidable circumstances. It has happened. We all look forward on what will come next. Will it, as we are saying, it is now a chance for people to lose up their opportunities. Who knows? Other people, other companies may also come through and tap into the opportunities. Once a business collapses, you find also another one coming. We have been hearing of rumors. Many bus companies want to come this side, but also they were scared that maybe the numbers were very many.
By the way, for you to get that route chart is not an easy thing. So many people will be having the interest of putting their buses onto this road, but now they're getting the route chart. Usually, when we even see with these bus companies that have already established themselves on these roads, for them to actually also access the route chart that allows them to operate on these roads at times is also not very easy. That is why we are seeing so many times. But the closure of KKT is something I must say is not quite good, because if you are to really look at the employment bit that this bus company has been giving to the people of this region, you realize that this is going to pose a number of challenges. It's going to be quite risky, actually, where we are going to see people losing their jobs, where the boys who have been there surviving on commissions, those who have been working as booking clerks, the conductors, the drivers, and the spectators, because this bus company employs a lot of people, and really this was actually one of the buses that was operating mainly on our roads. That is in between, as you mentioned, that is Paida. We had one going to Koboko, we had one stopping in Arua. So it was really quite good, because you will realize that over 100 of people were employed both directly and indirectly in relation to this bus company. Because really, if you look at how these buses companies operate, really got to move. You realize that they, in most of along the roads there, they have stopovers, and all these stopovers are employing people. True. And definitely these are going to lose their jobs. But I must say, maybe better opportunities are coming. We are witnessing so many new buses companies emerging, but we hope maybe at the end of the day, these women who have been employed, because this company employs a lot of people. We have cleaners, we have security guards. Not only that, both, as I said, both directly and indirectly, it was actually creating employment opportunities for the people of this region. But now with the closer, we hope something maybe could emerge for them, because it's not easy.
But me still, I believe there's a new bus company which is coming up, which is already in the pipeline. Because now, getting, as I have said, getting license to use this route is not something easy. But if you also look at the gaps which are there, KKT moving away, or pulling away from the route chart, it means it has created a gap for other buses to come and replace and fill. And you cannot survive with the remaining ones. Maybe they were saying that the bus companies are enough. As you have stated, they had a lot of routes. From Kampala, they come through all over West Nile sub-region. How will those people also survive? That is one thing that we need to find out. But now I believe there's a bus company which will come out to replace, that is the KKT bus company. But it's not a good one for the West Nile sub-region, losing that big brand of our buses.
Okay, that is one of the bus companies that has been raising and identifying itself with West Nile, because if you talk about KKT, definitely you will be able to know that this bus is heading to West Nile sub-region. And now with the closer, we hope maybe another bus that could also come and raise our flag high emerges, because really it is quite sad for us to witness this bus company closing. And really with that, we are closing the discussion in relation to the close of the KKT bus company, as we also head into a short commercial break. And my name is Farish Majid, together with my colleague Senior Ochaki Peace. For now, we run in for a short commercial break, and when we return back, we shall be able to pick up with other topics that we shall be able to really let you know of. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. AFCON, all 52 games live only on Star Times. Star Times brings you Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023, live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13th, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana. Lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your Star Times subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. Star Times, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023. West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, a very good morning to you. In case you're just joining us right now, this is the Kokoliriko Live that comes your ways every Mondays to Fridays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and we are really also heading into our second hour now. And this is where we also let you know of maybe some of the topics that we did leave out in the first hour. And remember, in the first hour, we did discuss the UCE examinations. We also talked about the closure of KKT Bus Company. I don't know what that means to the people of this sub-region, more so those that have been affiliated to the bus company, because really some people really prefer certain buses that they travel with, and more so this is the business community who have been able to really travel from Arua to Kampala, or maybe from Paida to Arua, or Paida to also Arua to Paida, or other places where this bus company had a route chart of operations. So I think what that means to them is something I do not know, and really I must say, in my own opinion, this is going to have negative implications on them, because some of them have been able to rely on this bus company, others have been dependent most entirely on this bus company for survival, and now with the closure, and I believe this is going to have negative implications on their livelihoods, and really that is how we summarize the discussion that is in relation to KKT Bus Company and the release of the UCE results, where we did witness jubilations in most of the schools that we did witness, and really some of the schools have actually registered first grades, and I must say the performance in the UCE to me is actually slightly better than what we witnessed with the PLE examinations, where we witnessed most of our schools are performing very well. And now today is the 16th of, that is February, today is also an international public holiday. It is the St. Janan Luum Day, and really, as a Christian, I don't know how prepared you are to go to church and really also pray for this hero who lost his life, and that is how this day is also celebrated. I don't know what to make of this day, by the way, the St. Janan Luum Day, because if you are really to make history of this day, you will be able to really realize that he was actually murdered among, and some other people were also murdered in relation to with him, and that is how they lost their lives. But you, as a Christian, I don't know what you make of the Archbishop, that is St. Janan, and which day is actually celebrated today as a Christian. I don't know what that means to you.
Thank you. When we're talking about St. Janan Luum, that is one of the prominent figure as far as Christianity is concerned, and it's, I would say, one of the people that is going to religion, and I don't know, probably there were some special attachments with these people from Asholi, because when you look at the Asholi they have, that is the martyrs, two of them, that is Tito Okello and Daudi. Those are also some of the people when talking about martyrs. Now we are talking about Janan Luum from this side of, that is the Anglican diocese, or from the Anglican perspective. It's a good one, and celebrating it. As we have said, he was murdered because of religion or because of faith, and how many people can be devoted up to that level of being murdered because of religion? That is, whether you are Christians or you are Muslims or you are who, how many people can be murdered because they are devoted to religions? It's a good one, it's a good example, but also if you trace back at how he used to be, people are always praising him because of the legacy he left behind. It's a good legacy, and he is a source of inspiration to many of the Christian fraternity. Okay. And as always, the celebrations are always done, that is at the center or at the home diocese of Kitgum.
Okay.
And a lot of delegates are expected to attend. That is right from the national level, I mean countrywide, and some people are coming from the neighboring countries. They're all coming to witness. That is
Madi and Western Diocese will lead prayers at the Janan Luum Day national celebrations that will be taking place at Wilgweng in Mochini Sub-County, Kitgum District. And this is actually today, and the 47th murder anniversary of the late Archbishop Janan Jakalia Luum will be held under the theme Hope Beyond Affliction from the Book of Lamentation. That is verse 3, that's chapter verse 3, to chapter 21 to 26. And this is where the Bible also really will be able, that chapter will be able to be drawn from. And according to the local organizing committee led by Canon Gladys Oyat, over 400 pilgrims who trekked to Kitgum from different parts of northern Uganda, Kampala, and other places have already reached that area. And this is actually one of the important days. I don't know, you as a Christian, you are still here. You had to really also trek, move, not using any other means, but really walk, which is quite good maybe for your health also.
It's a good one, but you know, it may be a bit late now. Today is the D-Day where the celebration is going to take place. That side of Kitgum, you all know the distance from West Nile or from Arua up to Kitgum. At least you need some time. You need some, those who have trekked, they didn't start their journey today. They at least started sometimes back, but it's, when you look at the people who are going to lead, that is in the celebration of the St. Janan Luum Day, it is two dioceses of Madi West Nile and Nebi Anglican. They have combined, they're going to lead, that is the celebration of the St. Janan Luum in Kitgum, or as you have said, and that shows it's a good one. And I think this year is full of blessing because these ones are the ones leading. That's Mighty West Nile, and Nebi Anglican Diocese are leading. Also in June, we are seeing also Nebi Catholics leading the other one for the Christians. It's a good sign. It shows us that our faith are increasing, meaning people of West Nile are also getting into some level. But all in all, let's learn that is importance, also the significances of some of these days. Let it not only be celebrated outside ourselves or physically, but also it should give us the zeal and the inspirations. What is that point you always pick from those kind of people who died? What significance can it bring to your life as far as your spiritual life is concerned? And it has come that is at the right time that we saw the Ash Wednesday. It was just some days back,
Okay.
and it was only Thursday.
Now,
and today is
Christian,
Friday.
today
So
is also we're already in the Lent period.
the memory is still fresh. They have
But before I think I get any further, are you fasting? Let me ask you before, and really, if you can be able to tell me how you're fasting,
Yeah.
because the Lent period has started as the Muslims are preparing for the Ramadan period. As a Christian, are you fasting? Really? Be honest.
By the way, the main motive or the main significance of the Lent period, it's only centered towards around three things. Number one is fasting. Number two is giving to the needy people who need these things. And number three is repentance. So if you cannot fast, now what is the role or what is the significance of these days to you? But now, maybe there are friends of mine who told me, my friend, some of us, we fast always, every day. We fast on condition. So it has come through a season whereby it got us fasting. But maybe, no, let me give you a something very simple. The fasting you are talking about, you may be fasting, but how are you making use of the food you're not eating? Are you giving it to other people or you're just throwing it away? That is a question to you. We shall get into details of these things. It's a good one. Month of Ramadan is coming.
Okay,
We are fasting. We are waiting.
Let me hope you're not part of the friends that are fasting on condition, but I rather hope that you are fasting.
No.
And the Janan Luum, the Archbishop Janan, who was murdered on February 16th of 1977, together with two other cabinet ministers, Wilson Erin. Honor to celebrate this Archbishop. And early this week, the government its plan to rebuild a modern sports facility that is stadium identified as St. Janan Luum's burial site. So we are expecting a stadium to be put up there, and this would also really be good there to also remember the Archbishop for. And the State Minister for Economic Monitoring in the office of the President, Beatrice Akelo, on Tuesday informed Parliament that plans are already invaded at advanced stages to build the stadium. I really don't know how that would also really keep the legacy of this fallen Archbishop, because really, if you have to really also interact with the political activists, they will tell you he was murdered for his words, and meaning that he is somebody that really did not keep quiet over his words. He had to echo out his voices loudly, and meaning that is actually what maybe also led for him to be murdered. And we do not know how true that one is, but political activists over time will tell you that he was murdered for his words, and he was bravery. He stood on his words. He's somebody who had really also meant what he said, and he fought and really believed in fighting for the people, and that is actually why maybe he was murdered. I don't know what you think about that. Is that a character still what we witness with most of the leaders we have today, or other leaders are now becoming cowards? They cannot really also say their words to the state, because really, if that is what he was murdered for, and then if what this was saying is true, and then that means that indeed he was murdered for the words that he said to the state, and that is actually what led him to be killed.
Thank you. Those are the legacy and the inspirations we're talking about. A leader who is always very open. And for him was not this kind of people who can easily be influenced by the power of money. And for him, he stood tall for the rights of the people. When you're talking about someone leaving a legacy, what does it mean? It means you had some good works, you had some no fear factor in you, and that's the kind of leaders we're talking. If you can easily be influenced by some people or by other factors which can easily turn you away, you don't qualify to be a leader. And though we don't have like all of them behaving the same way, currently we have some of the few leaders who are always there for their people, but there are other people, there are other leaders, once someone backed on them, they go mute, they go quiet, or they go silent. And we are saying, you as a leader, it's not only for the general public, you as a leader, what can you learn from those people? We are talking about the political activists. They also like that, they are not like that. Janan Loum was a man who always sticks to his word. When he tells you it is a no, it is a no. And most of those no things were for the right thing. And we wait to see, are we going to also get groomed? And since he has been from northern part of Uganda, how many people can also follow the footsteps? How many quality leaders are we having from this side of, that is the northern Uganda? It's a good one. Also, currently, let me tell you, we have some good religious people who are from this side. We have, that is the former Archbishop, Henry Luke Orombi. He was also one of the people who always stood when he was that still the Archbishop. He's one guy who always followed the footsteps. Are we going to see them running away? Are we not going to see any other representatives from this part of the northern Uganda? If you talk about religion, how many representatives at the top level are we having from this kind of, from this side of northern Uganda, raising our flags high? It's also a challenge for us that we need to wake up and we keep the legacy going. We may not keep all those legacies for long if there are no other people to follow the footsteps.
Okay, somebody may be saying, maybe asking him or herself, who exactly is the Archbishop Janan? And I must say, Janan was born on, that is 1922 in Mutrini, Chua, to Elia Okelo and Irene Achiro. His father was a convert to Christianity. He was sent to school and eventually became a school teacher. And in 1948, Loum accepted Jesus Christ as his personal Lord and Savior. His conversion was so deep that he gave up on teaching to join, that is the church ministry, as a full-time member. And he became active in East African Revival Movement and became a key reader, then a deacon, and later a priest in 1956. He taught at Buwalasi Theological College and later became its principal. And in 1969, he was constituted Bishop of Northern Uganda. And that is maybe the brief I can be able to really also give you about the Janan, the Archbishop Janan, and really about his reflections. I don't know maybe what you expect for the pilgrims who are going for these celebrations, because we expect also speeches maybe from the clergy. I don't know what are some of the things that maybe you feel the clergy needs to put out to the masses, because this could actually be one important opportunity for the clergy also to echo out their messages. Because really, if you look at what is happening today in the world, we are witnessing a number of immorality cases going on. And for me, as a believer, I believe the religious leaders still have the powers to really also address some of these immorality cases that we're talking about. Maybe what do you think the religious leaders need to front in this day, in the speeches?
Thank you. It is a big day. As I started, it's going to be full of delegates right from, that is, the national level, and the expected guest or the expected preacher of the day is going to be, that is, the Archbishop of the Anglican, Right Reverend Kazimba Mogalo. He's going to be the one leading the prayer today. And when you look at those people, automatically we are going to see that is representatives from the presidential office and other ministries. So we in Uganda, we still have a lot of things that are going through that still needs to be sorted. And that is also another opportunity for them to raise their voices. You have said it clearly. Religious leaders, up to now, they still have the power. They can change everything in this world. And I still believe people listen to religious people more than these other leaders in the world. And that is also another chance for them to echo out some of the issues which are affecting the country Uganda. I may not be specific on what they are supposed to do, but that is the time for them to show to the world that they also have the power and they can give good information. And also we have been seeing, people are saying some of the religious leaders are becoming partisans. They want to, that is, move from one side to another. They want to lean on one side. That is also another time for them to challenge us, to tell us whether it is true or right. Because we are going to see a celebration or anniversary of a religious leader who was independent. What will they learn from there? And also to the pilgrims, what are you going to get from there? Is it only for the purpose of going to celebrate, or you are going to learn something from there? Are you going to come back spiritually changed, or you're still going to be the same person, or you're just going for the sake of representing your diocese of the West Nile, of Mahdi West Nile, or of the Anglican diocese, automatically, if no, then it is of no use of going there. But if you are going to come up with some spiritual change, it's a good one. So you better go and come up with some spiritual change in you, and we hope they come up with a blessing from the 47th anniversary of the St. Janan Loom. Thank you.
All right. So that is how we summarize the day about the St. Janan Loom Day, and tomorrow, maybe on Monday, not tomorrow because the show runs from Mondays to Fridays. I don't know why. I think I'm very much excited that the weekend is just around the corner. But I must say it will be Monday when we shall be able to also really let you know of what the religious leaders have said and what they are asking for when it comes to that relationship that we are talking about. And now court has also said it is illegal for serving army officials to really join politics. I don't know why that one is coming right now, but remember, we have been seeing so many cases being raised here and there where people have been saying it is illegal for certain leaders to also really start engaging in campaigns right now because they are still serving army members. And this is how they have said it is illegal for the for serving army officials. And I believe you must know why that one is coming, because you have been seeing the pictures. I will not talk about it, but you, as senior priest Ochaki, you must be knowing about it. And how do you feel about this, by the way? If I can be able to ask you for court to really stop the serving army officials, soldiers to really participate in politics, isn't that really also infringing on their rights? Because really, I believe we are the same. If somebody is a soldier, we are still the same. Maybe also soldiers are doing it very well. Isn't that, what do you think about the whole thing?
Thank you. It's not a good one for a serving soldier to participate in politics. Yeah, they have the right to participate in general elections. They have the right to vote for their desired candidates.
Why do you say so?
No, they are neutral. Now, you are serving the country, Uganda. Why are you also planning to go and that is participate in politics? What kind of politics are they going through? They are going for active politics. They are going to participate also in the political arena. It is not something good. Why do you know they are independent? Where are you going to be? Are you going to start your own party, or you are going to be with another party, or you're going to be under a new umbrella? We take, for example, the ruling government. Are you serving the ruling government, or you're serving the people? Armies are for the people. My biggest worry is, where are they going to belong? Are you, the moment an officer attached himself to maybe one party, you know, people have their own thinking and their own beliefs. They will say, all the soldiers, they belong to this party. All the soldiers, they belong to the other party. And that's where we're going to see people losing the focus and people losing the trust in the armies, because right now, at least they have engaged people. For them, they will say, we are neutral. We are serving every party. No matter where, no matter what, in any circumstances, we are there to serve you. Now, going into politics, I don't buy that idea.
Okay, the Court of Appeal has reaffirmed that it is illegal for serving officers, these attached to the UPDF, the Uganda Post Defense Forces, for them to join or be part of any political party. It is illegal for them now, and this discussion and this revelation follows. That is a ruling again. That is the revelation follows Captain Yevutune Omara's contesting for the Abim district chairmanship in the 2021 general elections before he got a discharge letter from the army. And this is what we are saying, that for you to really join politics, it means you do not have to be actively engaged. You must first of all be discharged from the Uganda Defense Forces, maybe through resignation, and that is how you will be able to really now join politics. But now we are saying, this is my own feeling, even if somebody is discharged, the person still has that experience. I believe nothing is changing. Maybe the person is just putting the gun aside plus the uniform, but we have seen nothing changing.
But also, I will ask myself, you have been in the army, you have been serving for many years, and most of them, you are saying senior officers, even if they have retired from the army. Why should you again go into politics? At least you go and invest the little you have been making. Because I believe by the time you have been serving, that is the army, you are in the force, you saved something. Why can't you venture into business? Instead of that is putting all your money or in the capital in the politics. We are seeing the politics of the country. I'm sorry to say this, it is being monetized. If you are to go for campaigns in the villages, people will ask you, how are you living us? How? Because Now, if you are to go into such, can't you also start a good business? Can't you venture into some of the agricultural sectors? That one will give you more opportunities, and it will also give you freedom for you to do your own personal things. Once you go into politics, you will have to support the side where you are. You have to abide by the political arena you are into, and that one will end up creating more enmities between you and the people in the villages or in your area. So I would just advise them not to go for the politics.
Okay, according to law, section 99 of the UPDF Act of 2005 states that a serving officer or militant who deserves to seek political office shall first resign or retire from the defense forces according to the regulations made by the minister, and Article 208, subsection 2 of the Constitution prohibits members of the armed forces from participating in partisan politics, and that is how the law is. But now with the kind of politics that we have, I really don't know how they will be able to really also be active in this, because now we have seen our politics very, very much monetized. I don't know how that also will be able to really also have impacts on them. Are we seeing also maybe the soldiers, because now our politics has been very much dominated by the business people, and we are seeing a lot of businessmen now coming up to really take over our politics because they have the monies. Are we also seeing that the soldiers have the monies maybe also to really also engage in the politics that we are talking about?
I still don't understand the motive of someone jumping into politics. By the way, a lot of people these days are beginning to engage themselves or involve themselves in a political arena of the country. Do we mean there are no other opportunities whereby people can tap into? We have been seeing teachers also retiring and joining politics. We have seen even the clergies, religious people, they are running away from the religious work of God. They are trying to get into politics, and I may say it's because of the love of money that is pulling these people away from that is politics, and you are not quite sure whether you are going to go through or you are going to fail. And most of these things, it is the prominent people. I don't think this, should I call them ordinary? These are the soldiers of ours, the ones which are not at a rank level. I mean, the ones which don't have the milestones, they're here. Because if I say ordinary, the other side of the armies or the force, it may look like I'm underrating them.
Okay, for anybody to join politics, I believe you have to, irrespective of who you are, you can join politics. But now the condition is that if you are a soldier, according to the UPDF Act, you first of all have to pull off, that is from engaging in active serving of the, because as a UPDF soldier, you're there to serve the nation, and you may not be able to so really serve twice because you are doing similarly the same thing. Because if you are going to serve in politics, you are still serving the people, and if you go into serving the army, definitely you are still going to serve the same thing. That is why you are maybe bad from participating actively into that kind of politics, but you first of all have to resign. But now we know also the criteria for these soldiers to resign, usually it is quite long, where it makes it actually very, very impossible for soldiers to really resign. Because if you have to really look at over time with the kind of resignations where we have seen the leaders putting their papers to see to that they want to resign, but we have seen them also taking very long, because they have at times also to wait for the retirement age, because according to condition, you first of all have to retire, and if you retire from the army, and then maybe you will be able to join politics, and that is how the law is stating it. But really, I must say, it is also your right to join politics. Remember, anybody can join politics, and that is why we have seen these days teachers being the better politicians. We have seen them doing. We have lawyers, we have engineers as politicians, because there's no guarantee, there's no criteria that is going to say you have to do this. You have to have that kind of qualification. We don't have it in our laws. What we only need for people to become politicians, maybe members of parliament, is only the senior 6 paper. Where you qualify. But for those who are serving soldiers, and not only UPDF, by the way, even for those in other serving forces, for instance, police, you're also barred from being actively engaged in politics until you first retire. And then if you retire, that is how you will be able to really join that is politics. And really, I don't know how you feel about it, but I believe this needed to be open. Whether you're a soldier, whether you're a teacher, you're still serving, because you have seen people working and doing so many things here and there, and they still have to perform. I don't know what you think about that.
The reason as to why they're saying serving soldiers or active soldiers are not
supposed to be deployed anytime.
Are not supposed to participate, because all those things belongs to government. The government works. You have given a good example. Teachers, if you are a teacher and you're on government payroll, they'll first remove you from the payroll, then they will allow you to go and participate in the politics. And it is the same thing. Soldiers are on government payroll. They're being paid by the government, so you cannot earn two works, or you cannot earn two-sided of the government. You are employed as a soldier, and at the same time you are, that is a politician. It doesn't work. And we have seen even the priest in Gulu. There's a priest who is a political leader in Gulu city. He asked first to retire as a priest. He resigned. That for him is no longer priest. But no, people are also very funny. Up now, they still call him father. Now, how will you feel, you being called a father, and you are also a political leader? So it's a good one. Now, you cannot contest because the reason is very simple. You are doing government work as a soldier. You are serving as a UPDF officer or as an army officer. You are earning a salary from the government, and you cannot go to the other side of politics because also there you're going to serve in the government perspective. You have to first retire, but also I'm not happy because people are giving it as a trend. They first gain some popularity from this other sector, and then afterwards they run to the other side. But also I would say they're creating job opportunities for others. Once you retire, there's someone to fill in your gap.
All right, it is now clear for those who have been raising questions here and there, saying that we are seeing this man campaigning, we are seeing him do this, but he's still a soldier. I think now the stand is very clear for you, and now you know, according to the revelation from court, and that means that for people to really start engaging in politics, that means that they will first of all have to retire or maybe resign from active participation, and that is how we closed the discussion in relation to that. And as we head into another short commercial break, and when we return back, we shall be able to give you more on the updates, as we also really prepare to give you what is happening in the news of Lubarati, as the team is also ready there preparing to also give you that in the language that maybe you best know. And for those who understand Alur, my colleague Senior Chaki with me here would also be able to come at midday to also give you what is happening in the Lembange. And then 7 p.m., we shall be having the Nalcast news bulletin in English. But for now, if we can be able to run for a short commercial break, we shall be able to bounce shortly from now. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
AFCON, all 52 games live only on Star Times. Star Times brings you Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023, live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13th, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana. Lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your Star Times subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. Star Times, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Right, welcome back. In case you're just joining us right now, we are already in the evening of the show, and I must say we are just remaining with very few minutes to summarize the discussion And from wherever you are watching us from, you can also feel free to drop your comment, and then definitely we shall be able to also really share it with the rest of the viewers on what you think. And remember, we did discuss a lot of issues. In the first hour, we did talk about the UCE results, where we did also witness that there was some bit of improvement among the learners of 2023 compared to 2022. We also talked about certain other issues. About now, we summarized the discussion before we did go into the break. We are talking about it being very, very illegal for serving officers to really also join the politics. And this concern follows the recent by-election, that was the recent election in Beam, where the soldier actually emerged, beating one of the civilians, and really the civilian rushed to court and to sit with that he gets justice because the soldier was actually a serving officer, and something that really also went to court, and where we did witness a lot of issues here and there. And now the court stand is now clear. That is according information from Court of Appeal. It states that it is very, very unacceptable for serving soldiers to really also be actively engaged in the politics, because they are serving politics, and that is how we did go into the break with. And now, as we are running out of time, we still have lots more to discuss, and we are seeing Parliament summons KCA leadership over advertising ordinance failure, and that is something that we shall be able to sort of discuss more on. And the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament on Commissions, Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises, abbreviated as COSASE, has summoned top political leadership of Kampala Capital Authority, including the late mayor, that is Arias Lukwago. They are required to provide explanations regarding to failure to operationalize the 2019 outdoor advertising ordinance, which would mandate KCA to collect revenue from billboards around the city. And Meda Lubega Segona, the chairperson of COSASE, questioned the responsibility of, that is KCA, in passing out ordinances and whether it falls within the scope of audit queries. And he emphasized the recurrence of such issues and highlighted a court ruling that resulted in financial losses for the authority. I don't know what you think about this for KCA to start collecting ordinances from these advertisement companies that we're seeing in place, because we are witnessing a lot of billboards. And really, if you move in Kampala, we are seeing these billboards that maybe if they will be able to put there, because what we see is that the people who put up these billboards, in most cases, just pay the landowners, but they did not pay for advertisement. And remember, doing advertisement is actually something that commercial. And now KCCA is actually also maybe supposed to obtain money from that. I don't know what to make of if maybe that could work in Kampala City Authority, Capital City Authority. We will be able to sort of adopt and copy the same in the rest of the cities. For instance, the newly established cities, that could actually set a precedent for them also maybe to start getting monies for the council through this billboard. I don't know what to make of that.
Thank you, Farish Majid. When talking about that is putting up billboards on a city, it improves on the beauty, and also at times, if you're not careful, you find that is your place being disorganized. The more billboards you have, the more that is money you are supposed to have. You are advertising, right? It is within a city authority. Though it may be on someone's land, he also has the right to get some percentages. But you also, as a city or as a locality or as a local government, you are supposed to get something. And it gets back to what are the terms and conditions that you always put as before putting some of these billboards. Do you have a clear agreement or a clear law on how something should be run? Like if you are to put a billboard as a city, we have these rules. It's also the same like that is road parking or street parking. When you move through some of these cities, those guys who always park by the roadside on the streets, they're always given receipts and little money are collected from them. It is not different from these guys who always go for, that is the advertising, putting up the billboards. They're also within the same place. It's all about the city authorities to first come and follow the ordinance, as you have said. The COSASE, the right to query them or to question them on how the accountability has been. And if they don't have the accountability, that shows laxity within the city authority, meaning they have to wake up and peruse through and check what is happening with that.
Okay, as we summarize the discussions for today, and now it is also upon us to summarize it with sports. And yesterday we did witness fans of West Nile Sub-Region raising concern following the downfall of the top clubs that we are raising the club of this region very high. This follows the downfall of, that is, on the Paraka Football Club that got relegated last season from the Startimes Uganda Premier League. And this is on the second half also, we did see Roa Hill Sports Club demoted, that is from the Startimes Uganda Premier League to the FIFA Big League and the rest of the clubs. And remember, if you talk about, I don't want to limit this to West Nile Sub-Region alone. Even if you look at what was happening in northern Uganda, we also did see Blacks Power also relegated there. That means that we are now having no team as northern Uganda at the top tier of Ugandan football, and that means that this season will continue without a team in the Southern Uganda Premier League after I don't know how long, because Onduparaka had a stint of about 7 years, that is the Southern Uganda Premier League, and the Royal came through with about 3 or 4, and now they are also being removed from that is the Southern Uganda Premier League to come and participate in the FIFA Big League, which to me is a bit tricky also, given the fact that it has so many teams. And now we are seeing the fans, the stakeholders raising concern that really it is becoming very, very difficult for them. They are now raising questions. They are saying, what is happening to West Nile football? Because West Nile was really known as a ground for football. I don't know what to make about that. How can we revive maybe the sports glory that we had and ensure that next season, because our teams, if from the standings, we have just seen Onduparaka football resuming, that is with the training, and where we are seeing the training is not yet fully, and we're also expecting Arua Hill very soon to also really start on their campaigns, that is seeing to it that they can maybe bounce back in the following season to see to that they also come back. But I must say that sometimes FIFA Big League, the FIFA Big League is very, very much competitive, where we are seeing teams like Uganda Police are performing, and other teams, we're also seeing them doing very much well. What do you think about this? How can we revive the glory of the West Nile football when it comes to also having teams at the top tier of Uganda football? Because now the fans are raising questions here and there. They are asking themselves questions. What has happened? And in your own opinion, how can we revive that? The clubs have over time say that maybe the finances are not good because the fans are not also not supporting the clubs very well. How can we ensure that we revive our past glory in terms of also strategizing to see to that we bounce back next following season?
We need to trace back at the root cause of this. Why are they collapsing? And when they got promoted to, that is the top tier, I'm talking about the Uganda Premier League level, what did they do to make sure they went up to that level? Number one, it is the fan base. Look at, that is Onduparaka Football Club. In those maiden season where they were in the sometimes Uganda Premier League, the fan base, they had one of the best fan within the country, not even one of the best, but they had the best, biggest, and the largest fans in the region. Trace it back to the Black Angels. The season they played, that is in the Uganda Premier League, they also had the biggest fan. You know, most of these things are attributed to the fans, and once the home fans begins, that is, to lose morale or interest, that's why you see challenges coming through, and let the management of these teams or of the clubs get to sit down and dialogue with the fans to give them the hope and the glory. And you know, our fans here, they're very funny. Once you are in the top level, they will support you. But when you get relegated, they'll either give you 1 or 2 seasons. And if you fail, that's when you see also the failure of the clubs coming through. And it is now a culture for a team from northern Uganda, once relegated to the big league, it is very hard for them to go back to the top of the league or back to the Uganda Premier League. And we are seeing it happening. Onduparaka got relegated. But right now, if you look at their position, that is in the big league, where are they? They are in the mid of the table, and that shows us that there's a minimal chance of them going back to the Uganda Premier League. Look at Royal. They have been relegated, and currently they have a lot of challenges. The players, some players are already leaving, and others have left, meaning they also have to start recruiting the freshers, of which it will take them, that is, another season or 2 to push them to where they were before. And that's one thing which is currently affecting the West Nile football. We mostly rely on the fan base. What are these things which are making the teams not to get back?
Are you seeing any chance of our teams bouncing?
I don't think so, because right now, as I said, Arua Hill has been relegated. They're beginning their big league next
That's
season.
the first journey.
Because right now they're off. So they're waiting for next season to begin their big league. And as I said, Onduparaka, where are they? They're lingering in the mid of the table of the big league. What is the point gap between them and the top, the clubs on top of the log? We're talking about Police FC. You find it's a big gap, and how many matches are left to complete the big league? So it is a hard one. Maybe we pray probably something to happen in the next season's big league if they are to go through. And it all comes back to the people. Why are we, the fans, also losing morale? Why are we losing interest in these clubs? If not, we are going to see a big challenge.
All
in
right,
Western
that
football.
means that there is a lot of that we need to do as stakeholders. Even those who are complaining, who have raised concern here and there, you can still really go back to drawing board and see how these teams got promoted and how can they bounce back. That really lies into your hands now. And more about that will be able to come through in the whistle time. That is from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Or when Zaga, Linda Susie, and Oraku Benson will be here to give you that is more in relation to that and also other sports updates. And that is why you need to also be part of it. Come 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. They will be able to also give you that. And really with that, we come to a close of today's discussion. And my name is Farish Majid. And today I've been with Peace Ochaki, and we have been discussing a lot of issues here and there. Maybe if you could, in 30 seconds, make his final say as we sign out of the show.
Congratulations to the secondary school which performed well in the UCE or just released UCE results from West Nile Sub-Region. And for those who didn't perform well, also say hard luck, next time better, or next year better. And also those who are going for, that is the celebration of Janan Luhum, let's keep the faith and also you celebrate. You don't only pray for yourself, but also pray for others. And for the KKT customers, let's take heart. Changes do happen. You find where you belong, also you'll get used to. Otherwise, it has been a lovely show right here on West Nile Television. May you have the best of your celebration of the 47th anniversary of St. Janan Luhum. We look forward to celebrate it. A happy weekend. Keep it on West Nile Television. Thank you.
All right, we've come to a closer of today's discussion and want to wish you a happy weekend, and we shall be able to bounce back. That will be on Monday. And I've been Farish Majid together with Ochaki Peace. Have yourselves a good day and a happy weekend.